Hey guys, so today we have this beautiful rainbow wool. All I've done to it so far is that I've washed it and dyed it, but aside from that, it is straight off the sheep. It still even has some lanolin in it, some sheep grease. I tried to dye it rainbow for Pride, but the greens and oranges didn't quite come out, so that's unfortunate, but I'm still calling it my Pride spin for 2022. What you see here is me flicking the locks. Flicking is basically using what's essentially a heavy-duty dog brush to comb out all imperfections, any knots or dirt or tangled parts, and just leave the locks straight off the sheep and take those and comb them out and make them ready for spinning with the least possible effort, least possible change to the structure of the lock. What this ends up doing in the finished yarn is that the locks, as they were dyed, are all very slightly different colors because the dye there was more dye on one lock than on the other lock, stuff like that, intentionally. And that unevenness is highlighted and retained for the finished yarn, giving it a very cool, mottled, colorful look. So here I am just spinning those fluffed out locks. I'm trying to spin the yarn as fine as I can, and it really is very fine. I'm going to two-ply this yarn as a lace weight yarn, and most likely going to weave some sort of blouse or underlayer. You can't see the locks right now. I showed them off at the beginning of the video, and I will put them back on my desk in the future, but for now I am just spinning and picking up the locks out of the bin that they're in on the floor. But there are 400 grams of this wool. I've picked out, so since this video was filmed, I've picked out about 100 grams of the locks that just did not take any dye. So it started off as 500 grams or 1 pound, but I did remove about 100 grams worth just to make sure to only keep the brightest colors. And there still are some light colors in the finished yarn, but it's not quite as desaturated as it was originally. And that's just because I'm not a dyeing expert. It's more of an art than a science, and it's not a very predictable one. So here you see the yarn has broken a little bit. The video's quite sped up, so fixing it seems to take a lot less time than it does in real life. And of course, I am chatting away because I am streaming while I'm spinning. I stream on Twitch. The link will be in the video description. And so this entire spin was done live on Twitch. This video shows the process up until the singles are done. I will continue uploading more videos in the future about this project, but I, for now, will just upload the singles because that was 4 days of work, and I think that's enough days to put into one video, don't you? So here I've put the locks up on the table because I want you guys to be able to see them. Still haven't separated those super light colored ones, but I am picking out the more saturated ones. The way that I am choosing the colors, although not at this point, but I fall into it later, is that I want there to be fairly long sections of each color. So, you know, maybe 10 blue locks followed by 10 pink locks, something like that. But I haven't really fallen into that, so I'm actually, I think, alternating much quicker between the colors. I'm doing like one blue lock and then one pink and then one of whatever other color. So it's certainly obvious that the video is sped up. The video is actually sped up to 100 times real time, so quite a bit faster. I slowed down the parts at the beginning and the end so that you guys can see it better, just winding the yarn off of the bobbin. And at the very beginning, I wanted you guys to be able to see a bit of the process. But I mostly just wanted to be able to show you guys how the stream went, all the stuff that I did, have a bit of a record of it. And also, I think it is a lot of fun to watch the bobbin just filling up with yarn. Now, this is all still the first day. I think it's going to change over to day 2 very soon. But as you can see, I've gotten a lot of yarn spun onto the bobbin. I thought I had done at least 100 grams of this 200 gram bobbin. But as you'll see on day 2 and 3, I still didn't finish all of the wool. I didn't finish putting all of the wool on the bobbin. So it may be some kind of optical illusion due to the area of a circle. But here is the second day. You can tell because I've, of course, changed my clothes. And I do move the bobbin back into view in a moment. I know it's half cut off by the bottom of the screen right now. I'm sorry about that. There we go. That's a lot better. And yeah, so starting off here, I thought, wow, I'm probably going to be able to almost completely fill up the bobbin today. I think I was expecting to like almost get there, but not quite. But no, I was very frustrated by the end of the day thinking, why has it barely filled up any? But you can see the yarn piling up on the bobbin, so I think maybe I was just having a weird day. Who knows? So the wool that I am working with is a Rambouillet from a local farm. I live in Ontario in Canada, and I don't know exactly which farm this comes from, but I did buy it locally, which is something that I do try to do. It's a lot easier to make sure that animals are being treated humanely if you buy local. Small farms are a lot more responsible than large factory farms. And small farmers usually care about the animals a lot more because they're kind of a part of their family. When it's just a small sort of family farm or homestead rather than a large for-profit, underpaid employees type of factory farm. So by this point I have started spinning more of one color at a time. I don't think that I'm doing so much of it as I would like to be, but we're working on it. If you see me doing anything, of course chatting, but also I have shown people some examples of things. That's because I was live streaming, so I wasn't just focused on the spin. I was taking a bit of extra time to teach people things, have conversations. This is the third day, and as you can see, the bobbin is getting very, very, very full. But as I mentioned earlier, it takes until the fourth day to fully fill the bobbin. I really love watching the colors pile up and change. I'm working on some pink right now, and now I think I'm changing to maybe a light yellow or orange. But yeah, watching the colors build up and grow and fill up the bobbin is very relaxing and very exciting as well. So here I'm just demoing some carding just for a second there in the video. It took 100 times longer in real life. And at this point you can really see that big lump of fiber, big lump of sheep's wool is shrinking. I didn't notice it yet at this point. I was focused on the bobbin and the bobbin that wasn't filling, but it really has diminished in size since I started working with it, compared to that huge lump of fiber that I had at the very beginning of the video. And, it's kind of happy and sad at the same time, because it's like, oh no, the spin, it's getting, there's less wool left, but of course it's exciting, because what am I going to do now that I have the finished yarn? So many options, so many fabrics I could make. I hope that you share my excitement. I hear myself talking sometimes and I'm like, grew up in the age of video games and action movies. and now I'm getting super excited over yarn, and it just, I laugh at myself because it never was something that I'd imagined that I would be so passionate about. But now that I am, it just seems like the coolest thing in the world. Young me would just be so disappointed right now, but that's okay. That's not who we're trying to impress. And I think yarn and wool is so much fun now. And so do you if you've made it to this point in the video. In fact, I think that if you're enjoying this video, you should press the subscribe button and the like button, and maybe even leave a comment. No pressure. I'm bad at this. But it really helps. It really helps if you're able to do something like that. It'll really help the channel grow, and it'll make me very happy. So at this point, I've actually changed the aspect ratio. Because I am live streaming, I wanted to make sure that the stream looked better. Before, I wasn't actually streaming with any of the chat or anything on screen, and I usually do. I usually like to have the chat on screen so that people who aren't active in chat can actually see what's going on. So I have cropped that out for the video because you can't really hear what I'm saying in response, but I wanted to explain why the aspect ratio has suddenly changed. That video is a little bit thinner. I'll try and find sort of a compromise for future videos. That's what I was trying to do here. And I think it's okay. I think it's good. As you can see, the bobbin is now almost completely full. The yarn is at the same height as the edges of the bobbin, which was super exciting. I was really, really amped. I was like, yeah, it's gonna get done, it's gonna get done. And then I had to calm down and make sure that I didn't rush through the last 100 meters or so of the spin. Because I was too excited and wanted it to get done. But yeah, I'm just filling up that divot in the middle right now, and in a moment I will be winding the yarn off onto a ball winder. When I did that, I basically just taped a toilet paper roll to my ball winder, which you'll see in a moment I'll attach to the edge of the table. And then I fairly slowly started turning the hand crank on the ball winder just to make sure I didn't go too quick and break the yarn or anything like that. Because it is very thin yarn, so it's easy to break if you pull too hard on it. So there's my ball winder with the toilet paper tube on it. I cut off the end because it was a little longer than it needed to be. And I used some bright orange duct tape just to secure it there so it wouldn't twist around on the ball winder. Now you can see that I'm winding the yarn off of the bobbin. Now I did slow this part down quite a lot compared to the rest of the video. I think this is at 10 times speed rather than 100 times. And I was really enjoying watching how the colors were coming out, so I took a bunch of photos that I will post on Instagram. Again, social media links in the description. But we are winding the yarn off the bobbin onto the ball winder. Every so often I have to stop to reattach some yarn that's broken. It does break, it's very thin, and this is not the most gentle process. But once it is wound into a ball, I can spin onto my bobbin again. I did decide only to upload the first bobbin to YouTube. I feel like if I upload the second bobbin, it'll just be the same process twice. So you guys let me know in the comments if you do want to see that sort of thing, but for now I'm just gonna put this up as an example of the process. And but I will upload more videos of this spin, or sorry, of this project. I will upload more videos of this project. I might upload the plying, and I'm planning to upload the weaving portion of it as well, because it is going to be a woven shirt. Hopefully I'll have enough yarn. So at some point I think I had to add more tape to the toilet paper roll just to prevent it from spinning around on the ball winder. And as I get to the end of the bobbin, the yarn's breaking a whole lot more because the bobbin, it's basically physics. When you're pulling from the bobbin and there's a lot of yarn on it, the bobbin ends up spinning slower. When it's wrapped around sort of the middle, which is thinner, then the bobbin spins faster. And since the bobbin spins faster, it might continue spinning with momentum and break, which is not ideal. So that is the end of it. I got it on the ball winder, and now it is one wound ball of yarn. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being here. Do like, comment, subscribe if you are so willing. I'd really appreciate it. And if you're interested in my stream or my other social media, then links for that are in the description below. Thank you so much, and we will see you guys again soon.